Get chat sorted out as usual. Faff around at the beginning. Oh, there we go. Cool. Right. How's everyone doing? I'm going to do something slightly different today. And it took quite a bit of setup to get here. Going to close some of this stuff. Yeah, keep the wiki. That was useful. What we got? Oh, that was some crypto I shifted about for this. Waiting for a bit more to arrive. So what I'm hoping to do on stream is write some Rust code, compile it to WebAssembly, and then deploy that to the Golem network. It's quite a bit to do. I suspect we'll run into some issues. Just remembering now that I didn't update the project on this stream, so let me quickly do that. Easier said than done. All right, that's a bit better. We've got some better cloud bot commands now. Right, I shall stop faffing with that. Yes, so hello everybody. Oh yeah, and I think midstream there the Golem coin just arrived, which is good. We're going to need that to run our program. What have we got going on? Okay, I've cleared down the tabs a bit. It's worth talking about some of the faff that I had to get through to get here. So in order to get this program running, I had to install Hyper-V, get that set up, which was a BIOS change, and then PowerShell command. Then I ran into some issues with the machine itself, the Docker machine, becoming corrupted. So found a command to clear that out. Something simple. Yeah, it was just running this, and that killed off the virtual machine. And then next time I rebooted Golem software, it just worked. I mean, it took 10 minutes to boot, but it just worked. And now we're at the point where we've got a Golem node running locally. Oh, and the port forwarding. That was another thing. I had to sort out port forwarding. But we're there now. And so, yeah, we're now here with Golem running locally. So now we should try and run something on the Golem network, which I keep closing things. Eventually I'll get somewhere useful. This. Close that as well. Let's just stick to one browser. Use things. What have we got? Oh yeah, we don't need the logs anymore. Those were really helpful. Trying to figure out what on earth was going wrong, but so much now. think actually I might just screen this. Oh, yeah, fine, sorted. So there's a decent tutorial on running. I think they call it like Golem WebAssembly rather than Golem. Find the there. No, I don't want that. I want the you're going to link me to docs. That's what I want. Just want the docs. And specifically, we want this thing called GWASM. So the idea is you write something in a language that you like, in my case Rust, compile it to WebAssembly, which we'll do in a bit, but a particular kind of WebAssembly. And then that will hopefully enable you to create a job and so I guess send your compiled program to the Golem network where it gets crunched and hopefully you get your result back. But something is bound to go wrong. It's taken like 4 hours of setup to get to this point, so something will break. We'll find out what it is and hopefully fix it together. Quick start. Yeah, that would be neat. Learn how to build a GWASM application. So I don't think I want to run it locally. I think I want to just jump straight in and try and run it in the mainnet. If we get totally stuck running it in the mainnet, then we can come back to this section and try running it locally. So they've got some examples over here. See what we got. Okay, so they've got an example written in C. We're going to use Rust. And it seems that all the projects have a reasonably simple, thankfully simple, structure. So you have a task JSON, and in there you have all the information about what you're going to run and what you're expecting out when your task runs. The in and the out directories are fairly simple. Normally the out directory is empty, apart from they put a .keep in here so that the directory doesn't get removed when they upload it to Git. And then in this case, they've got their compiled program, which exists as a WASM file, which this won't open because it'll look, what will that look like? Oh, it doesn't want to do it. Never mind. And then this should be, I was going to say fairly small, but actually this looks like most of the program compiled to JS. Maybe this is some huge, this could be a miniature framework actually. I guess if you run into problems with your task, you're going to want to be able to debug it. So that's written in C, which is all very well and good. I'm gonna do a whole here's one I prepared earlier moment. So I was and it's important to note I haven't actually got this working, so this is going to be a bit of genuine live coding. So I took one of their examples, and in this case we've just got a single Rust file. We grab some arguments. God, I can't remember what this was doing now. We're reading an in file, we're writing to an out file. Not sure why I had this. What was this? Arguments collect. So this is grabbing the arguments from the command line. Fine. We get the first argument. And I guess we are just essentially grabbing a string from the command line and then ultimately writing it to out, which makes sense. Begs the question, what's the point of the in file? This needs some emscription. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So we'll probably have to install that as part of this. Good to see you again, by the way, Nikito. Yeah, this definitely needs emscription. So I'll just figure out what this is doing, and then we'll try and compile it, which will definitely fail. And then we'll run the commands to install emscription. So got the in file. We create a new string called contents. We read the contents of in.txt and store them into the contents variable. Then we are creating an out file, writing the contents, and then we write the name. Okay, so essentially this is going to write everything that's in in.txt plus a command line argument. Fine. And I dare say I'd already compiled it. Interesting. Maybe I compiled that on a different machine, because I'm reasonably sure when we go to compile this, it will fail. Go to README. So yeah, this is here's what I prepared earlier, and you can see the problems I ran into this morning as well. Ran into an issue with Hyper-V, ran into an issue with ports, although I already had that documented. Essentially, I had two machines on the same network. I was trying to connect two machines, which is not doable because only one of them can have the ports on the router. 3282 has to map to one of the machines on the network, not both. Yeah. So we need to install these three things: Python, which we assume we've got, Rust, which we know we've got on this machine, and here's one we prepared earlier. Here's a nice installation for emscription. Should really be a command in here to remove it when we're done. Or maybe I should put this somewhere a bit more sensible. Let's move the emscription SDK upper directory into GitHub. Permission denied. Really? Well then, how about we just destroy it? Are you going to permission deny me that as well? No. Let's try that again. Surprised we don't have permissions to write to this directory. Fine, happy with that. So now we cd into emscription. We're going to install it. So Nikito, have you done anything with this before? Maybe not this exact use case, but using emscription. I think we had a chat before, didn't we, about you had some WebAssembly project. Oh, you're using the LLVM WASM backend. Cool. Wish I knew precisely what that meant. I could have a guess. It sounds like you're running backend WebAssembly. And then hopefully once this installs, should be quite quick to activate it to the right version. And then this, with a little luck, will make it available from the command line, so we don't have to reboot VS Code. And then add a bunch of other commands that we might need to run. This one was the ultimately the command that does the compile, but we'll have to see what it comes back with when we try and run it. That just download something else. Yeah, it did. And it's done. Okay, so now we can try activating that. feel like I should probably read this. The default SDK changed. Cool. That probably affects someone, maybe us. If you have problems or wish to revert back. As far as I know, this is a fresh install, so it should be okay. That's nice of you. You've written an emscription configuration file. Cool. So we're now using that particular version. Not a great version number, and we're using Node. Fine. Then, so what did I just run? I just activated it, right? Yeah. So let's run the source command. Cool. We've added some paths. So now, if I get out of this, go back up to Scratchpad, and then Golem, which is this directory here. We're going to want to, I guess actually it's worth just checking this hasn't updated in the last few days. So this is the official documentation from Golem. Here you can see that they've broken it down into input and output directories and subtasks and all sorts. And I'm guessing if I scroll down far enough, we'll start to see some of these same. That's how we create the task. But okay, not quite sure where I got these commands from, but I thought they were all from in here. Maybe there was a bit of trial error, more error than anything else, but could have sworn I got these from. Oh yeah, okay, so I must have got them from in here. One of one. In order to cross-compile Rust to WASM compatible with Golem's sandbox, first we need to install the required target, which is this thing, emscripten. Easiest way of doing this. So I must have grabbed this. That's kind of odd, isn't it? That looks like their documentation's got a bug. I think it does. Some random, well, I guess it's not random. End inline ktex, whatever that is. Must be the system they're using for their documentation. Cool, so that's installed. Then we've got compile Rust program. We've got we're going to use cargo. The target is set to emscripten. We're going to use a release rather than a debug. And I seem to remember this fixing some problem. Maybe we'll run it with and without. Start with, and that might be interesting to say the least. Let's get into this directory. I don't know why I called it prime. No idea. So we called this prime, but actually it's just reading and writing to a file. Guess I had hopes and dreams for it. And there's our first error. What do we got? Linking with emcc failed, exit code 1. So not compile. So this is an issue with. I'm gonna just wild guess. I'm gonna restart VS Code because it might simply be an environment issue. So we need to get in the right place. So it's going to Golem, gwasm prime, rerun this command. Oof, no such file or directory, OS error 2. Did not compile prime. Yeah, sure, give me the verbose version. Link emcc not found. Alright, have a quick. I feel like I had this issue before and solved it. Let's just check. So this says we need Python. Do we have Python? Yeah, we got Python. Except I can't remember how to get out of Python. Exit. Cool. So we've got Python. We've just installed this. We know we've got Rust installed, because otherwise we'd be getting a completely different error. Oh, just bash the mic. Sorry, everybody. Otherwise we'd be getting a completely different error. So let's Google it. Or DuckDuckGo it. That says Windows. Not really Windows, is it? Huh. emscripten specifically. Let's have a look at that and that. Interesting. It's a different error, I think, isn't it? They're essentially saying there's a path issue. Ah, that could be a simple thing. Just don't have GCC installed. Except it's not yum. This is, I think this is apt, this machine. Cool. Oh no, it's already installed. 43 not upgraded. Wow, so there's some upgrades to be had. I really don't think anything will have changed, but let's try it anyway. Nothing changed. What is this link args thing? What if we get rid of that? I'm just expecting a different kind of error. Linker, no such file or directory. That is exactly the same. And the other thing we could do is see if there's anything in here about emcc. That's a good idea. We could just check it's installed, couldn't we? Ah. Step-by-step instructions on how to cross-compile? Is that a word? No, no. I think they must have just got a typo in the docs. Should we fix that whilst we're here? docs.golem.network. GitHub Golem. Got one just for your docs. Golem docs old. All right. Have you got a newer one? Docsify. None of those look obviously like the document, you know, the repo for the docs. There's no like link like this is where. Nope. Let's start off with just like one of their bog standard directories. Let's just check the README. Follow installation guidelines. So that takes me to, okay, so the URL there. Am I correcting? Yeah, good question. Am I correcting the spelling error? Yeah, because it was enough to confuse me. Because you know when people merge words together to mean something slightly different, I thought it might have been a legitimate use of that. Like the first time I came across the word transpile or something like that, I thought, what's that word mean? And then you look at it, so actually, I see what you're on about there. See instructions. No, I just want to know where your documentation code is. Unless it is in here and you use something. No, that's not enough to be documentation. What about? I think I know what this is, and I don't think that's the right thing. Golem Electron. I don't think it's that. But actually, I don't know. I don't know for sure. But there's no docs in there either. All right. Well, if anyone from Golem is listening, I couldn't figure out where to go to fix a spelling error in your documentation. I assume this is something different as well. Yeah. All right. Try that again a bit later. Maybe we'll have an epiphany. Scrolled away from where we were. Hopefully it's still highlighted. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so we had an issue with our emcc version in that we didn't have any. Not installed. Follow the instructions here. So we did this. We've already done this. emscripten core. Yeah, we've already done this. Then we seed into it. I don't think we did a git pull, but we're doing a clone. I don't know why we would then need to do a pull. Yeah, we ran that command. We run that command. And I'm pretty sure we ran source. I seem to remember some output from that. The only time you've corrected a spelling error in the docs was for Hacktoberfest. Yeah, okay. I guess it's low return, isn't it, on your time? But it definitely makes you chaotic good. Yeah. Unless there was only a 50-50 chance that you were going to fix it at the Hacktoberfest. Activate path and other environment variables. Yes, we ran this, right? No such followed. Oh, because we're not in the right place anymore. But we did run it and we got some output. Why specify which backend you want to use? I mean, this is all fun, but I feel like if I've followed your instructions, then this should work. Definitely there. Let's try, what was the command we just tried to run? That source one. emsdk. Wow, they got one for everything. Yeah, so it set the path. And then within here, I mean, that must be executable, right? Yeah, so that's fine. And then if I was to go up a directory and do the same thing, run the command what given. Okay, so it is detecting it. So go back to Scratchpad and then Golem. I am very confused. What just happened there? Now it suddenly works. I ran this a minute ago. Command not found. Then I ran the source thing again and now it suddenly works. Fine. All right. Wonder if that means it'll magically compile. No. Linking with emcc failed exit code 1. Okay, if I scroll back up, was that the error we were originally getting? Link at emcc not found. Okay, so that's different. So that's saying just totally couldn't find it. This is saying we got an exit code. All right. Binary N trap mode is not supported by the LLVM WASM backend. Okay. So does that mean I need to give it another argument? I'm gonna guess this is actually no. I'm gonna search in here in case it comes up. No, it doesn't. Now I'm just gonna set this to 0. Okay, worth a go, right? Oh, that's interesting. Something was expected to be an input file. So maybe my syntax there for the command itself was wrong, but let's just grab a copy of this and go back to Google. Cool. Testing interview overflows, fixes ads. So does that suggest in here somewhere it's probably trying to set, yeah, there we go. That same suggestion here on testing a few things that used to have integer overflows, in which case the fix was to add this. So our command is trying to do that. Linking with emcc failed, exit code 1. But where does this come from? What's actually generating this? It's running, that's something to do with Rust. This is, well, we were trying to figure out who was chaotic good and chaotic neutral. I think this output is just chaotic. I'm trying to make sense of this. It's not easy. Note. So this, is this really one command? I guess it is. It's just including all of these files. So it could be a new version of emcc that has this bug. Let's have a look over here. GitHub. Emscripten is available under 2 separate licenses. I'm sure it is. Okay, so this looks like the thing we need, but that's last updated in. Hang on, this this branch is 2 commits behind, but this is master. The incoming is that must be their latest version. So if I go to releases, 3 days ago they got 1.3.9.1, and if I go back to REMCC version 1.391, no change log, is there? Tagged this 3 days ago. I don't know why I just did that. I read that as scripten, don't know why. There's no 25 open errors. Let's search their issues for this. Okay, so that's pretty similar to us. That's very similar to us. How do you fix it? Yes, how do you fix it? Calling the QMake program by default creates this make file. Can you post the error you get? Back and forth, I'm just getting the right thing to look at. quite the thread, isn't it? Let's start at the end. I had to build and install binary en using CMake on my own because something failed. They mentioned Python. Okay, so they weren't even able to install it. Installation failed, whereas ours succeeded. I don't see any silver bullets in here. Version is this 135. Interesting. 17 hours ago. So look at the closed ones. I guess those had final link step crashes. Sure. I mean, maybe it could be our Rust code itself that's causing this error. I'm not seeing anything in this issues list that fills me with a great deal of hope. So let's just think about this. So linking with emcc failed, and it exited with an error code. So it tried to link all of, I guess these are folders and files, right? So this is just a huge files list. Curiously, with the occasional -L. Not quite sure why. Did it list a directory and then a -L? Is that the pattern? I don't know. Did you look up the error code? What, as in this precise thing, or the exit code one? The answer is probably no to both, by the way. Yeah, I guess it's that. That's all we've got to go on, right? I'm going to leave that tab open. Let's start collecting tabs. That's all. That's never gone badly. Install the proper dependencies for your system. libc 6 dev. Okay, so maybe we go back to here and search for yum or apt, maybe. Nope. Packages. Nope. Install. But yeah, fine. Bit of emscription, that's fine. We ran that. We definitely ran that. That'll be in our history. I search for unknown. Yeah, so we definitely ran that. Rust up target, add wasm32 unknown. I'll run it again. It's already there, fine. And then this is, I mean, this is pretty much the exact command that we were using. If everything went okay, you should now see 2 files. What if it didn't? I want to cross compile a C program. I want all of the occasions where things don't go well. We've definitely got it installed. I'll run it again. Or maybe not actually, because my ability to tab complete is just gone. We've run that anyway. We know we've run that. We've run that twice. The second time it did a little bit more. Way of doing so was a Rust installation. So we're using Rust up. We know we are. Go back to here. Maybe there is a better Google result. So that's linking with CC, but we're not linking with CC. We are linking with emscipten. Crucial difference. So does that mean that DuckDuckGo has auto-corrected? Thinking I meant something else. They're having a problem in pastebin. This I feel like we've been to once before. I guess we could try another version of emscripten, because there was an activate command. That's what I'm trying to find. Yeah, so we can activate latest. We cd to just try to think if I can do a print working directory, can I? Just want to make some of these quicker to get to. pwd, yeah. So I want to run. What's that? No such file or directory. Oh, there's an extra slash. Does that confuse things? What is going on? So SDK, yep. Then we wanted to run. Just want to run that. Pretty please. No such file or directory. Denied. It needs I don't think it needs to be set as a permission denied. What if we cd'd into that then and we ran? You reckon it's sudo? Sure, I didn't need sudo before. Maybe I did. Maybe you're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you. When you access the selected set of tools from the command line, consider adding the following directories to path. Interesting. Or call source that. So we've done that. I'm sure we've done that, but what if we echo path? Is that going to give me what I want? Oh, there's loads of stuff in here. And at the beginning, we can see emsdk. So let's try that again. Different error, I think. So the original error is the same. Can't believe this would need to run as sudo. Seems a bit much for a compile command. So I'm not going to try that, but you can tell I thought about it at least. Generating system asset. This will be cached in. But yeah, permission denied. So maybe this does need sudo as well. This suggests something's very wrong. Well, not found. Okay, which kind of makes sense because they probably don't want you to run cargo as sudo. But why is this permission denied? What is this? No such file or directory. Fair enough. Generating. So it tries to generate that. Denied. So maybe we change the permissions on this directory. So currently it's owned by root. Currently it's owned by root. What if it was owned by sudo? Have a quick Google of ownership of this directory. Permissions. Don't really want to chmod 777 it. That would be reckless. Could chown it. Let's chown it to user. Minus R. Not permitted. Okay. Crack open sudo again. Then let's try compiling again. Alright, we got something different. Same original error, but at least we didn't have that weird caching bug as well. Java doesn't exist. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Binary trap mode is not supported by the LLVM WASM backend. But that is the full-on error, isn't it? That is the problem. And then that just takes us back to, I think, one of our original searches. Of which there are only 4 Google results. Well, okay, I can simply be disabled with the following patch. So in their case, they choose to note out this. Oh, I see. So we could potentially turn this off. Keep reading. I reckon find out if this is mentioned in emscripten. That's the first thing. Is it mentioned in this repo? No. So where would it be? Is it mentioned in this repo is the next thing. I don't think it's going to be. I might have to run a fairly hungry grep to find this. But we know it's on the disk somewhere, right? Completely forgotten how to do a grep. That's crazy. I think it's minus lr minus include. I guess we don't know what we're including actually. We are searching that, and let's start off in this directory, which will return nothing. Upper directory. Just check I've got my syntax right. Yeah, fine. That's that is returning some results. Wonder what directory that actually is by now. That's got to be up in like the whole of it could be all of the gits. Yeah, it's all the gits. Okay, so let's start off with that first of all. To be honest, if this doesn't come up with anything, that'll be surprising. Interesting. So it comes up in another repo, which has nothing to do with this one. That looks like it's an incremental build on big primes. Or it's complaining about the file itself. Maybe it didn't find it because it does say invalid argument. Interesting. Any more output? No. This is just chewing through disk. Memory, 96%. Really? Node. What is Node doing? Is that this being bad? Is Golem eating all of the processing power? All the memory, sorry. %95%. I refuse to believe that this is showing everything. This must be showing, like, I think there must be some hidden programs here. 95%. I think this has either got 16 or 32 gigs of RAM in it. That only accounts for one. Curious. So something's got a memory leak as well. That is disappointing, but not unexpected. The binary end trap mode is not mentioned anywhere. Very, very odd. So I wonder where this argument can possibly be coming from. It's not in this repo, so it's not part of our code. I guess it could be in the home directory somewhere. Really? That's a bit better. It could be in cargo somewhere. That's possible. Got to be on disk somewhere. Can figure out what's eating that RAM in the meantime as well. 95%. Whilst this is not running, I wonder if I stop Golem, that suddenly free up all the memory? Oh wow, resources. Maybe it's something to do with this. I have 25% of my system resources. I want to act only as a requester. Actually, that might be even better. Considering we're streaming, we don't want... No. Why would you have a delay on that button? That might reduce the memory. Okay, nothing happened here. How about rust up? I'm completely guessing at this point. I feel like it's got to be mentioned on disk somewhere. Let's just read that error again. So somewhere it's a program is choosing to call emcc and link all of these files. Unless it's buried in a binary somewhere. In which case there's a version of something that we probably need to downgrade. Could be Rust. Could be emcc itself. Whilst that's searching, let's just find out a little bit more about this emcc thing. I think I might need to give it more information. Compilation. Look at this emscripten thing. Curious. That's not loading, is it? There it goes. Debugging. Interesting. I want to find out about the arguments on it. API reference. Search for this. How can it be that this appears in almost no place at all? Wait, hang on, what? Binary and trap mode. This comes up as the #1 result, but you click on it and it's not there. So, oh, sorry, smack the microphone again. So what if we looked at maybe a cached version? Does DuckDuckGo offer that? No. Look at this. This looks like it's trap mode. Wrapping. So this is okay. So I guess like we read earlier in an issue on GitHub, it detects random Rust problems. What if it is our Rust? What if it is somehow? Thought it was going to be our Rust there for a second. Saw yellow warnings and I thought, oh, maybe. No. And there's no other Rust files in here, is there? There's just main. Okay, so it's probably not our Rust. Check cargo, what's in? No dependencies. Really? Oh, they're all part of the standard library. What if we had that noted out and we decided we didn't want these? What then? Okay, so we do need IO. Binary trap mode is not small. Okay, so it is probably definitely not our code. Browser reporting an error, so blah blah blah, out of bounds. Emscripten will emit code that is optimized for size and speed. Great. Which means it emits code that may trap on the things mentioned before. That mode is called allow. The other modes are clamp. Will avoid traps by clamping values to a reasonable range. And JS, which ensures the exact same behavior as JavaScript does, which also does clamping. Make sure to clamp exactly like JavaScript does and also do other things JavaScript would. It's a lot of words there, but I don't actually get too much meaning. That in general, using clamp is safest. Well, we're using clamp and we're not compiling, so LVM was and avoids traps. What if so arguments, so we've got -s. What if I do another -s? Is that the correct syntax? I guess we'll find out. And first of all, we're just going to run that, see what it does. Same error? Thinking, okay, fine. So now instead of clamp, let's try allow. Binary trap mode is not supported by the LLVM present backend. Fine, so can I just set it to nothing? I just remove it somehow? Interesting. Okay, so it creates some weird, it adds it at the beginning, which actually is not very helpful at all. Because then it just sets it back to clamp again. Where can this be coming from? So I'm running cargo rust C, specifying a target. All we have in here is cargo toml. Got a cargo lock, which doesn't really contain anything because we don't have any dependencies. There's really not very much. What if we search for one of these other things? What are these? Where can I find them? I wonder if I, maybe if I search for this module. What was this module that we were running? This. So Rust, yep. So yeah, is that, where do we find Mozilla Rust? GitHub Rust. Somewhere we must specify targets. Wow. I feel like there must be some code. Like when we specify a target, that's a compile option, right? So I guess I go back to just Rust. In here, we must be specifying targets. I'm guessing this is going to come back with way too much as well. See target spec. This won't come. Oh, I didn't expect that to come back with anything actually. Now we're talking. What's this? So here we had error on undefined symbols equals 1. Error on undefined symbols equals 1. Don't see anything about assertions. Feel like I might be slightly out of my depth here, but learning a lot. So, I mean, these are cool. Look at like FreeBSD. What does that mean? I know what it is. It's no S, but okay. So this looks like the right place. Rust C target. So remove licenses. Curious commit. So I'm interested by that. Remove licenses. So it had an MIT license. They're probably having a tidy up. They've probably got licenses in the main directory, right? Why bother? Okay, spec. API. Tests. A bunch of emscriptions. Interesting. Oh, 2. So, post link arguments. Interesting, we're not on master. Now we are. I guess we're actually on nightly, which is probably master. Guess we can see if we look at the git commits 5 hours ago. Yeah, so that's probably nightly. I feel like this is really close because this is the sort of thing that we want. This specifies a target. Specify arguments. Curious. So what actually builds this list of files? Somewhere something must be building this command. What if we didn't build for release? Same thing. Shared binary trap mode is not supported by the LLVM WASM backend. So does that mean we don't have the right version of... Yeah, I feel like this is going to... Binary trap not supported. Testing a few things that used to have integer overflows, in which case the fix was to add. Well, we couldn't do that because we could do rust up update. That's another option. I bet there'll be more than one thing. Yeah. Memory serves us. There's about 5 of these that it'll install one at a time. They must throttle their downloads. I'm sure the connection here will do a bit faster than this. When I said it was going to download 5, I was clearly completely wrong. Wonder what's going on with our RAM. Let's take a look. It's still sky high. I guess the other thing is, so we can probably see something that's using a lot of disk, then that would probably mean it's using the disk caching instead of the RAM. I forgive rust up at the moment because it's actually downloading things, but Golem app fairly consistently keeps reading the disk. It could be Golem. eating the RAM. Let's quickly see what's going on in the world. Onto my phone anyway. Not much at all. Oh wow, there's just so many of these, isn't there? I'm sure it's done RLS before. Is it just going around in a loop? Oh no, it's removing, okay. Installing component RLS. If I scroll up, I'm sure I saw that one already. Installing component RLS. Removing component. This feels like it's going round in circles. This is a new one on me. Okay, it's made it to, well, essentially nightly. Okay, same error. We could switch to nightly. We're not already. Hey, you know what? We're missing something actually. We could already know what version we're on if this. Do we have Rocket installed? No, we don't have Rocket installed. Get Rocket installed. Let me say Rocket one more time. Rocket. I think it's dot files. I've got it here somewhere. Dot files, yeah. Pretty sure it's at like the end of bash rc or something. File. Just search this repo for Rocket. Oh, did something there it didn't like. Don't know what. That's not what sure I committed it to there. Maybe I didn't. That's fine. Maybe it's in. No, it's not a pull request. Oh, Starship. Not called Rocket. Okay. Not anything either. That's fine. Let's just quickly install it. Installation. We can't use brew. We can use cargo. Thank you. Let's get that installed. Then we just add that to the end of bash rc. Hopefully. Yeah, I know. Rocket. My brain was in the right place, broadly speaking. That's a bit more like it as well. I think this is now compiling with multiple cores. That was thanks to someone in chat about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, giving me a command line argument to get Rust compiling with every CPU core we have. Okay, so I'm reasonably sure if I run that, that suggests we need to install some fonts. Oh, that's okay. I mean, we can do that. Yeah, do those things. Oh, that's not going the way I wanted at all. I think I'll add it to the end. Yep. And there's probably something here about fonts, right? Fonts, Powerline fonts, cargo install, Starship. Powerline font installed, enabled in your terminal or Fira code. All right, well, as you've used it for the example, I don't, in the nicest possible way, just want to install it. Building. Kinda don't want to do that either. Feeling super lazy. No, I didn't mean to click on that. I was just curious what was written in. Closure. Okay. Closure or closure? Closure. Gone back too far. I went back too far. Install. At the bottom of here. Building it locally. Okay, let's grab a copy of this. Clone. Yep. Where are we now? Golem GWASM Prime. So this should be GitHub. No, it's not. Upper directory. This should be GitHub. It is. So git clone this, please. For anyone just joining the stream, I know the fonts are all busted. Just fixing that now. Hopefully we're fixing that now. CD. I mean, I should probably at least have a look at this before running it, actually, shouldn't I? Before I blindly run this script. What was about to run? Bootstrap. Gonna use Python. Gonna install Google Fonts. All right. I'm happy that you're not gonna take over the machine. Huh. We don't have pip installed. Sudo apt-get install pip. Really? Ubuntu pip. How to install pip on Ubuntu? Yeah. Python pip. Okay. Get that on there. Yeah, all that wonderful stuff. Get all of that installed. this machine's just going to get so bloated over time. I can just imagine 6 months down the line, there's going to be like 1 million packages installed of apt and Rust and Python and God knows what else. Deal with that when we get to it. So whilst that's doing that, I'm just going to scoot over to my other stream. Stream? No, screen. And I'm back. It'd be nice if things like this were multi-core as well. Everything should be multi-core. Let's still install him. Oh, it's installed. Cool, cool, okay. So that was pip, so now we can run bootstrap. Install pip as command not found. Oh, it'll be because we haven't loaded our environment. How can we do that? We use source to do that. Reload bash environment. Yeah, how can I do that? Really? That's wasn't too far away by saying can I use source? Interesting. Stuff in there that shouldn't be in there. Shopped. Wow, I'm all over the place, aren't I? Now I want to go and find out what shopped is doing in my my dot files. Interesting. Something to do with appending histories. Right. We loaded that. Can we run this now? I need to run it as sudo? Is that what you're saying? No. What are you saying then? We've got our scripts directory. And got permissions to run. Sudo easy install pip. Easy install. What is easy install? No, I didn't want that. Script. Bootstrap. This is curiously written for a Mac or anything that's using brew. Let's Let's reread that. Just go back to their home page. In case you want to alter Fira code glyphs and build files yourself. Oh, I actually don't want to do that. So I probably just want to run this. Okay, so now we just need to find out where the right place to copy them is. Ubuntu fonts directory. So standard locations. So we're looking here. Not what I expected. There we go, get rid of the slash. So we want to copy that. Of course, we can't copy into the fonts directory because it's protected, but we can do it as sudo. I think I am going to have to restart this VB. Wow. Not VB. VS code. And if I go up through the history, we should see not rocket but starship. And I'm really regretting not just searching through starship. Well, that hasn't helped. Back to starship. So we did what we were asked. We installed the fonts. Powerline font installed and enabled in your terminal. Did I perhaps not? Okay, that would have been easier. Can I just do that? In which case, then we restart VS Code. All right, fine. We'll just keep going as we were for the moment. Where's the terminal gone? View terminal. We'll just leave it as this for the moment and not worry about starship. Maybe it's one of those things that will magically start working after the next reboot. One thing I am going to quickly do though is font issue when using starship. That didn't solve it. Let's close that. We did that. Don't need that now. Go back to where we were. What were we even doing? Completely forgotten. Go through our history. Oh yeah, that was right. I was trying to use this and make sure we were using nightly. and we need to be in the right place. So we need to be in this directory, this directory, this directory. And it seems to be upset because this and OS error 2. Oh, that's different. Now it can't find the MCC again. This is madness. This is just going around in circles with problems with the environment. So this would be upper directory. Let's let's just do that. That's going to be easier. So I want to source EM. Yeah, that. Great. Now I want to run that. Better. 14 due to previous error. Binary trap mode is not supported by the LLVM WASM backend. So again, what version of Rust are we using? Nightly. So it could be a Rust Nightly issue. Possible. What if we didn't go with Nightly? What if we went with stable? Really? Can't find crate for standard. Does that mean we have to specify it in our cargo COML file? That seems very unlikely. Following will work for the simplest of compilations, assuming you extracted the tar file. Okay, you downloaded it from somewhere, it doesn't work. Just check what it said then. So using existing install for stable, default toolchain set to stable. Can't find crate for standard. That again feels like it could be an environment issue. I'll set this back to nightly. Interesting. It does something, it at least tries to compile on nightly, but stable is busted. Alright, what if we went with beta? Which I don't think I've actually downloaded before, so this will be new. I hope everyone enjoys watching percentages slowly go up. I certainly do. There is a certain nostalgia that comes from that, actually, thinking about it. Probably spent early 2000s, a lot of the late 90s just waiting for percentage bars. Installing worms or 3 out of 5 floppy disks. So I guess this is going to install all of the same components, but for beta. So we could be here a few minutes. Let's see what else is going on. Golem is still connected. Good. Nothing is completely busted with that yet. optimism at the forefront of my mind. Still worried about this memory. Maybe that's worth a quick Google or a quick duck. Windows memory. Don't want to test it. I just want a quick way of seeing what's going on with my Windows memory. All right, that ran. Can't find create for standard. Really? So we're saying if we're running stable or beta, it can't find the standard library. Gotta be something going on here that's and curiously this is under WASM bindgen as well. Very similar to what we're doing. Oh dear, that seems bad. So it looks like we misconfigured something. I mean, we could uninstall. We could try a reinstall. What have we got? So rust up. Gonna run update again. It shouldn't do anything. No, fine. Set. Alter rust up settings. Modify the rust up installation. So I'm guessing rust up show is probably what we've just seen. Active toolchain. So that's beta with rust C 1.39. So then if I said give me stable, and that's 1.38. Okay, this all makes a lot of sense. The version numbers add up. So what if we clean? Can we clean cache? Is that a thing? Rust up. Go to the active and installed tool chains. We did that. Check for updates to Rust tool chains. I mean, I can do that, but I don't think it's going to come back with anything. No, it doesn't. Target component override. Override. Modified directory toolchain overrides. That sounds dangerous. Not going to do that. Display which binary will be run for a given command. Right, tab completions. Reinstall rust up. Yeah, good point. Has it got a package installed? Surely I would have installed it via rust up and not yeah, good. So it doesn't have a rust package installed. Got the right version, 1.38, 625, 625. The last set we did was, yeah, default stable. So that all adds up. It's like a rust up clean or something. Rust up clean. Maybe there's a cargo clean actually. Yeah, of course there's a cargo clean. So if we go back up and try and run can't find create for standard. Alright. Let's try what I probably should have done at the beginning. So it's saying it just can't find. Maybe there is an environmental issue on this machine. In which case that's going to be in my home directory, as that just told us. Yeah, we got .rust up. What's in here? Tool chains, downloads. So rust up. Let's try uninstall. That's easy. Yeah, that's fine. Might regret this, but can't think of anything else to try at this point. Get ready with the install command. Don't think I've ever done so much installation and uninstallation in a single stream before. We essentially haven't even really made it past Hello World yet, by the way. Because that's essentially what this should be. This is just us trying to compile something. Could not remove rust up home directory. Caused by directory not empty. Okay, I can probably manually remove it. Feels slightly dangerous. Just random downloads. Let's get rid of those. See what's in temp, shall we? Nothing that can go. Look in settings. Well, that doesn't seem like it's very important. Let's try installing Rust again. Proceed with the installation, please. More 1990s style downloading. Oh, I guess it would have been 1,000 times slower back then, so these would be kilobytes. What's going on with that? There we go, it's gone. We were, whilst that was running, we were starting to look at resource monitor, yes. See what's eating this RAM. Node. What on earth is running Node? I bet that's the Golem app. This Golem over and over and over again. So 1% used. Yeah, I think it must just be the Golem app chewing through. Maybe fine. Oh, Rust is installed. You need to do in your path. Well, let's just check. It might already be there. Fine. Can I search that? Yes, please. I could just search that for cargo. Well, I'll run it anyway. I'll run it anyway. What we got? We got an extra cargo in there now. But yeah, this is just, it's got duplications in it over and over again. Not going to worry about that right this second, but it's just only going to get slower. Okay, so we've installed Rust up. Let's see what happens when we try and compile this now. It'll probably error. Not expect that. I did expect it to complain about the target. Yeah, so we just add emscripten. Installing component Rust standard. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? I bet each time we switch between standard, nightly, and beta, we have to install the target. I bet we have to do that. So, Rust up. What was it? Which? No. Rust up default to run stable. So we then switch to nightly. Cool. All right. So we're learning something here. We now know that regardless of that's not even no. Yeah. Regardless of what you actually think you've switched to, unless you've run the add toolchain command or add component command, where was it? Then it won't actually install. Bear with just for a second. So, okay, we can get rid of that, the standard issue, the standard error. Like that's one we can now fix. But we've progressed something. We now understand why that's happening. So this will error because of the standard library. We add the target file and it will come back with that same error. Binary end trap mode is not supported by the LLVM WASM backend. I wonder. So I had this working on another machine before. I think I'm just going to have a look on that other machine. And try not to bash the microphone whilst I'm doing that. I'm just going to see if that has a similar error, or maybe we're using a different version of emscipten, or be any number of things. Look in there. Wow. Just decided to install a whole bunch of stuff on this other machine. Nothing to do with what I'm actually looking at. But VS Code has decided, in your Scratchpad directory there's a C# file, so therefore probably going to want all of this C# stuff installing. Except I don't. I might do one day, just not right this second. Scoot on over to the terminal. What? Oh, I see. I see. So on my other screen, sorry, this is now complaining because not running Windows System Linux. It's running else. Really? So I used. Can't believe that's true. Sudo apt install. I will be amazed if this is it. Also means my instructions are wrong. We can update. Just whilst that's running, I will be back in. I'm just going to leave it running, actually. Can I do that? Should I do that? All I want to do is close a curtain. What could possibly go wrong? Back in 10 seconds. Did anyone spot me take the headset with me? I didn't miss much. It's still installing. Okay, so we're up to what now? 2 hours for 2 hours for essentially a hello world. And of course, what we don't know is if we're supposed to install. I'm going to grab a copy of this. Actually, let's add a footnote here. It may be enough to just install the apt package, not the custom GitHub build below. Found on today's date, 2nd of November. Wow, the year's ticking by. Found on 2nd November that GitHub build emscripten erroring with. See if we get the same error. Oh, do. And then I wonder, leaning over to the other machine again, I just want to see if it actually builds. I think it's exactly the same. Oh yeah, with the exception of this binary trap mode. Well, that really slowed it down, didn't it? Sorry, I'm leaning to one side. I'm aware that I kind of look at a straight angle on. Really? Unbelievable. So this might not actually be needed. I'm gonna note that out. Okie dokie. So we've now managed to. What have we managed to do? We managed to compile it. So under target, under here and here. What if I delete those? Yep. So if I build that again. Fresh. Something changed, I just don't know what. Okay, so they're there again. Just not quite caught up. So we now have a WASM file, I guess, somewhere in here. Except I can't see it. Look in here. One minute ago, okay, so that was compiled 1 minute ago, and we've got a JS file, we've got a WASM file. Cool. So if we have a look at our task file, called it prime find, which is not what this is currently doing, but let's not worry about it. Input directory. So this apparently has to be precise. So does that need to be the Windows directory? May need to be. So that's Rust. No, not Rust. Golem Windows task. So yeah, what I don't know is if I go to GitHub, let's go to Scratchpad, head on over to Golem. So somewhere we've got to specify an input directory and an output directory. We don't have. Create one, create an output directory as well. And if we're being sensible, I bet we did have these, but they got removed, or rather were just never kept because they didn't have any files in. So when I pushed my changes up to GitHub, wouldn't have kept these two folders. So yeah, okay, home user in, the input directory is probably going to be or definitely going to be this. Now that's interesting. I really have to do that? Kinda don't want to. And then out is going to be very much the same. I feel like this is probably wrong. I reckon it'll just be happy with the Linux equivalent. And then we've got an out.txt that's mentioned in these two subtasks. And take a look at this. So file open in.txt. So within here we can create an in.txt. That's simple enough. Throw the word example in there. And it's expecting an out.txt, but it can do that itself. So we've got a WASM file. Good point, actually. Where do we specify that? JS name. Check out the. Don't need that. Got through the emscripten stuff. And that. That we don't have to worry about. Go. Okay. No, we don't have to worry about that. Wow, we had a lot of duplicate tabs as well, didn't we? So, where are we? We are on task.json. And I just want an example of that, please. Okay, so in their example, they've got absolute path to the repo. And then the WASM file and the JS file. Here it looks like they're copied along with task. For an example, see how 7-zip is set up in this repo. Okay, so they've got a neat example. So within their in, they have, okay, so in is the WASM file. So I think I can delete that. That came along with GitHub, we don't need it. I think we go to build, no, here we go. This and this. We can copy to here. I mean, this is looking vaguely plausible that this might actually work. Apart from this might be super unhappy. Bid is 2. Bid's probably too much. Bid can be 1. Let's. I feel like we're getting pretty close to trying this out now. Golem. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Command line. It's here somewhere. CLI. Golem CLI. Status. Cool. That's a lot of stuff. Make this a bit larger. And carry on being this, that's fine. Carry on being this, that's fine. So if I go to tasks, Golem, tasks, create, file name. So if memory serves, this will be after the tasks file name. So in documents, maybe I need to cd to the right place as well. So if I go to cd documents /github /scratchpad /golem then check. So that's within, and then we need to go into task actually. So /task. We go here. What's wrong with that? System can't find the path specified. Oh, is this because I didn't specify users user? Manually type it. Users user. That's a bit better. Okay, so I want to go there, then I want to go into task. No, yes. And finally, Golem CLI task create task.json. Hey, it gave me a thing. And the task has appeared over here. With a cost associated with it. And a subtask timeout of 10 minutes. So I guess the problem now is that this could potentially run just fine. Or it could error, but if it errors, it would error on their machine and we wouldn't necessarily have access to the error logs. Guess. Stats? No, I didn't really want that. Show. Okay. So are we waiting for someone on the network to pick this up? Yes, we probably are. So could we get some information from the network? Status connected. guess we can see what nodes we're connected to as well. Those ones. Not really helpful though. Well, that's interesting. Dump a task template. So if I was to cd, if I was to, can't make a directory, it's Windows, or probably can, I just have no idea how. If I create a new folder, template, cd into that, and then I run tasks template. Following required arguments, task type. Try one of those. Did I mean WASM? Yeah, I did. Just your documentation always refers to it as GWASM, so I thought it might be related to that. It might be called that. Tasks template. Task list. That still says waiting. All right. So what did we get in our template directory? What happened over here? Oh, it just dumps. I see. It doesn't actually create a file. Curious, curious, very, very curious. No, not that curious actually. We are in that directory. Let's try that again. Still waiting. Compute on CPU. I don't have that. I should. Compute on CPU. There's center name. What does that mean? Sensor. Proof of concept, consent. So content is Golem's network service which aims to improve the integrity and security of the marketplace. Not obligatory. Golem works just fine without it. If you're a provider, content service will make sure that you are paid for the computational power you have used to perform assigned computations. If on the other hand you act as a requester, content service will ensure that payments are enforced only for correct results. In the ideal interaction in which the provider and the requesters behave according to the protocol. So it's an arbitrator or an intermediary. I mean, I think I'm quite happy with consent to be on. Yeah. Yeah, 50%. So I guess the completion is just based on how much time until it times out. Game. Interesting that it requires a subtasks count. That seems like it's, I don't know, irrelevant. I'll just run a count on that array down there. Unless this is old and out of date and the docs are more up to date, which makes sense. Anyway, I've added it in. Resources. I don't know what resources is. I'm going to add that too. Resources, none. And task. Yeah, I think I'm going to set this to subtask timeout 5 minutes and timeout 10, because then we'll get quicker feedback on this. And I think that's probably everything. Curious, I wonder if the case makes any difference. One assumes not. Functionality for task type is available from CLI. i.e. don't click on this, stuff will probably break. Fair enough. Yeah, so I think that's going to time out. That's what I think is going to happen. In which case, I guess we could run it locally and see if there's an error. I think we probably know it's this. Well, we don't know, but I think we can probably presume this path could be at fault. But hey, if you're going to throw tasks into a crypto-powered fog of computers, you're going to run into issues, right? This is curious as well. This is input directory and output directory. So this must reference my local directories at a complete guess. Complete guess. Search for these. Oh, did not mean to do that. Place all of those. We'll see if that, I won't say, oh, I was going to say I won't save it just yet, but autosave's on. Fine. Let's just wait this out for another couple of minutes. Minutes and 40. I wonder if there's some additional thing we can do to verify this. Golem, yeah, because I feel like Golem Windows tasks.js. Is it task singular? AS, that is JS. So that's my computer. WASM. So if I go to Golem, so with WSAM we go to WASM store and there's some examples. Is there a store here? No. I went for like Blender. Task.js. Search in here for task.js. There's bound to be some examples. It's repo. Or not. Got some integration tests, which is nice to see. Blender and whatnot. Duration 13 minutes. Hang on a minute. I thought we had that a bit more limited. ETA is still 2 minutes and 40. Alright, let's say it's taking too long. Abort a task. Restart a task. Guess I can search for this ID. Show? Is it show or list? Show. Alright. So now I've made a change. I've made a couple of changes in here actually. Not least of all, we've knocked the timeout down. Let's knock it for 6 minutes. Then I go back and search for task.js. Really? Oh, it's Windows, so I can't do reverse searches or whatever they're called. Create, there it is, there it is. Okay, so that gives us a new one. Let's see what the network thinks of that. Preparing. Good point, actually. If it prepared and didn't error, then, and I guess we could check that. We could check the error logs for Golem, which were there. Golem error log. Golem error log. (17:12) cannot create task. Task ID equals none. String index out of range. This is not my task. Okay, so it definitely breaks. So we can fix this. Okay, we can fix this. So we received message about a subtask from different node. Executing sync, raising. Just trying to find something in here that tells us what's happening to our task, because they're crunching it, or starting to crunch it. Definitely an error. Question is, so I go back down to here. Cannot create task. Task ID equals none. Except it did. String index out of range. This is not my task. Index error, string index out of range. Exception was caught. It's possible that this isn't, I feel like this, possible it doesn't relate to our created task. Or it's possible that after I aborted the task, it then errored at their end. They tried to give us an update to say you've reached some sort of timeout. What's this reckon's going on then? So tasks show. This is not started. So I've added something here and now it's unhappy. Could be we change these input directories. So let's Control Z those. Could be that, could be that. Kill off this task. Check that error log again. Okay, so no errors for 4 minutes. Now we want to create a task. Get a brand new task. Great. Then go back to error. Currently no new errors. In fact, that hasn't been touched since 1712. So maybe this will work this time. Maybe it did need those to be Windows directories. Okay, so suddenly that's jumped to waiting for computation, i.e. someone might have taken it. Curious, the ETA goes up. This is as far as I got off of stream, by the way. And in any previous attempt at doing this, this is as far as I get. So you got that to look forward to. Hours and hours of being stuck at this exact stage. Days, possibly. So I've got it on a 6-minute timeout. It's been going for... I know I've got a subtask timeout of 5 minutes. So this should, in theory... error in 3 minutes saying timeout, and I'm actually going to let it do that this time rather than let it run over. Can't be bothered to wait 30 minutes, but I can be bothered to wait 5. The other thing, whilst that's running, continue to gleefully search through the documentation. Nodes are running properly. All right. CLI network show. Yeah, we're connected to things. Your path to input directory. Done that. GitHub, Scratchpad, Golem. Golem, GWAS, and Prime. Yeah, so that's, you know, it's worth double checking, but that's right. Send task to one of your Golem nodes. Specified the data directory. You know what, I didn't track the task progress. Interesting, so we should see something in out when it completes. Out subtask 1. Content should be hello world. Well, in our case it'd be something totally different, but that's fine. Creating GWASM tasks in Golem, task prep. Yeah, we managed that. It took us most of the day, but we managed that. Subtasks. So I guess that means one task per node, or per machine. So if we ever wanted to break this up so that many of these were running at the same time and we were truly distributed, then we'd have to generate many task.jsons. JS name. So what have we got? Let's have a look. We have a JS name? We don't have a JS name. The name of the JavaScript file produced by emscripten. File should be inside the input directory. Oh, JS name's there. Okay, fine. And that is just prime.js and WASM name is prime.wasm. Directory. The path to the input directory contains the JavaScript and WebAssembly program files and the input subdirectories for each subtask. Input subdirectory will be mapped to blah, which is also the current working directory of the virtual file system. Oh, my bad. So we should have specified subtask 1 and we should have specified subtask 2 as clearly stated in the manual. Cool. Next, the path to the output directory where each subtask, the path will be copied to a subdirectory named the same as the subtask. It is an existing directory, can be will be copied. So output file paths will be copied to a subdirectory named the same as the subtask. It is an existing directory, can be empty. If it's not empty, then the files are overwritten. Dictionary containing argument. Okay, well, that seems fine. Do I also need to specify subtask 1? Okay, just gonna put here. And ugh, don't want to do that. New folder, subtask 2. Copy keep, put that in subtask 2. Fine. Back to the ZSH I was using. Let's get the latest on our task. Timed out, fair enough, because the input file wasn't in the right place. Let's Golem, yep. So that's just set to timed out. So once again, I think we can create this. I wonder, is this costing me 1 Golem coin every time? Probably not, actually. I bet they're getting refunded if it's failing to complete the task. Task show. All right, 4th time's the charm. Oh, hang on, what? Finished? Finished. Does this mean what I think it means? Got help.txt. It works. Hey, it actually works. Great. And that probably just cost us. That did in fact cost us 1 Golem coin. Brilliant. Now I wonder what we can do with this. First up, we need to commit some stuff. Yeah, this is cool. Okay. Commit the README first of all. So we can say git commit README. What is up with this? Oh, I see. Git commit README. Added several Windows gotchas. We need to add. I think we need to add in.txt just so it's there as an example. I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? So we need to add prime in all of that, status, and we might as well commit all of this as well. Yeah, let's commit it all at the same time. Prime task, get status, yeah, git commit that, working example folder structure. Tested on mainnet. Oh, mainnet, 2 ends, 1 end. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is getting that off my machine. Really? Forgotten my Git credential. That's unexpected. That's very unexpected. That's because it's using HTTPS instead of something a little bit more sensible. So let's go to grab a copy of that. I'm really pleased that we got this working though. I guess we can throw up all kinds of computational madness now that we can create jobs on the fly. I'm just going to take a copy of all of that. I reckon this will fix the whole Git issue that we got going on. Scratchpad. Looks the same actually. Yeah, I think it is the same. So that can go, that can go. Now can I push? That's better. Cool. So that's because I synced using HTTPS instead of SSH. I'm really pleased that that worked. That's genuinely the first time I've managed to complete a job on the Golem network. Right, what's next? What do we do now? I feel like we need to do something a bit more challenging. I did have this. Those stuff we don't need. I did have like a computational exercise going on in what was it? MD5 or something? What were we calling it? Proof of work, yes. Yes, I was trying to find the fastest way to crunch an interesting hash. We could do... Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make a job that's difficult, really difficult. And then we're going to try and break it up into, I guess, something that's going to take a few more than 50 seconds, which is what that took. This is, I see, this is quite neat as an example though, because we're doing file operations. Think on this just for a second. So 7. Someone just saying the stream's a bit low res. Have a look, see if I can info on what's going on. It may be that the lack of RAM is chewing through. Killing our resolution. Has it suddenly got better? I didn't change anything. Didn't change anything. Okay, fine. I was just starting to scratch my head on that one because I couldn't actually see what was up. Apart from the fact that we clearly don't have a lot of spare RAM, which I think is Golem being a bit overzealous with stuff. I keep blaming Golem. I haven't actually got any proof. It's the one thing that's different today. What am I trying to do? So I want to read... Okay, so grab this. What I want to do is I want to turn this into a more challenging example. So we're going to want whatever output we end up with, we're going to want to write that. So yeah, so this should... Yeah, that should work. So now if this computes, we'd put tempt in here, get rid of that. So the point of this, by the way, is this is going to crunch through an MD5 hash, which is a bit more difficult than just sticking two strings together. And then yeah, we'll chuck it up on the Golem network and see what we get. Hash tempt So we don't actually need to print the attempt anymore. I guess we can have 0 point Craig. We're going to want to return an IO result, not just whatever that was returning before. It's nothing by the looks of it. I feel like that would be better. Is it going to let me do this? I feel like that's an error. We'll see if that stays as an error. So we don't actually need to read in .txt at all. We don't care about it. So I think I'm going to include it, but note it out. In.txt, let mute content string new, infile read string contents. I'm just going to call that input. It's fine. And that's all we need. What was the point of this? Even care what that is? Probably not. All right, let's start off with something easy. And let's see if this compiles. Oh wow. Wow, my brain really had trouble trying to remember what the word was there. We got there. So that's probably going to error because we're in the wrong place. Let's go up to there. External crate can't find crate. Fair enough. That's okay. Forgot to tell you it was okay to use. Let's head back to here. Grab the latest MD5 crate. MD5 crate. Rust MD5 crate. The new joiners. We got it built. It worked. Or anyone that's returning from earlier. We managed to build a task and load it on the on a Golem cloud, Golem network, Golem. Not sure what it is. Version 0.8. MD5 equals 0.8. Try again. Yeah, fine. Should be a string. Failed to select a version for the requirement MD5. What? What's wrong with that? Oh, okay, we found which didn't match. So actually, we've only got 0.7 available. That's what you're telling me, right? Yep. Rundown of what we're doing for the newcomers. Yes. So we're trying to write a program in Rust, compile it to WebAssembly, and then get it to run on a crypto-powered cloud called Golem, which I've never managed to do before until today. So it's very, very pleasing. We ran a hello world type thing and it took 50 seconds to run on, I don't know whose machine, but not mine. So now I'm trying something that's a bit more crunchy. Can't find crate for Rand. That's fair enough because yet again I didn't include it. Check what version we need. That work as a search? No, okay, fine. Rust crate Rand. What we get? What versions? 0.7.2. Let's build that. Looking good. So we didn't need read. Yeah, that's true. We didn't need read. 2 previous errors. expected blah but found enum standard result. That's, oh, I didn't mean to close that. Reopen that. That's fine. We can just fix that through, we'll make that a bit wider. File.write. I break out? How do I break out of an if? We're expecting IO result. Error in both cases. Unreachable expression. Fine. So if I got rid of that, does that make it reachable? Yeah, much better. Okay, should I just take up the whole screen for a minute? Do say if I do something daft with the fonts or the screen or something. I want it to be as easy as possible for to follow. Try adding a semicolon. I don't want to do that. I want it to return. Quickly though, Rust break out of loop. Is that a thing? While done. Yeah, that's true actually. We could do a while. Let's do that. Done equals true. So actually then that can go down there, that can go there, that can go there. Method not found in random prelude thread. What? Generate ASCII characters. No method name gen ASCII characters found for type. Fair, I didn't actually set that to anything, did I? Let mutable done boolean call false. It's just there, right? We're including rand, we're including MD5. Did I forget the use, or is that there? No, that is there. Quick search for this. Rust. More wider. This one. This one. Which one do you want wider? If I create a random string by sampling. So you're using that. External create rand, which we're using. They're using 0.6. Could it be it changed in 0.7? Yes. So I could fix this code to work with the newer version. Oh, no. Method not found in rand prelude. Let's compile and remove the Rust. As explained, deprecated as of 6. Okay, so let's put that back to 7. Do what their documentation says that someone's kindly pointed us at. And in their case, they're using thread range, yes. Then they use this command instead. Not found in this scope because we didn't specify it. That feels like it's going to compile. All right, that compiles. So now what we're hoping is this will generate an MD5 for this. And when the first, well, that could have been, look at that, that was an error waiting to happen, 0.5. Those two need to be the same. Really? I've been going so long, my monitor's trying to power off on me. There we go, fixed. Let's see what Yeah, so I think that's probably good now. I'm going to recompile it. Then we've got our task file that just needs brushing up. So I think we can just have one subtask. I don't think we need to worry about having two. It'll run faster with one task as well. I think we should try that. Okay, so that's compiled. Now, let's create the task. Actually, there's one thing I want to change. We're currently paying we're paying a whole ETH for this, and I want to try spending less crypto if we can. Okay, let's see if that builds. I can't remember how much I started out with at the beginning of the day. I think it was 99 GNT, and I don't want to just eat through all of that. Face. You want a face? You want a wider face? I think oh, as in, so it should take up more of the screen. What's the conversion to GBP? Not very much. It kind of says below, actually. It says it's like $4.50 for 100 of these at the moment. Waiting for computation. So I think that means it's ready to go. It's just waiting for someone to pick up the job. Full screen face, bottom corner code. Yeah. This is obviously the exciting bit. Be quite nice if this works as well. Like, if this works just without any errors, I'll be really quite pleased. Because we've just I guess we've written another Rust program. Yeah, right, I borrowed a bit of code from someone I'd written earlier. Converted it to Golem's way of doing things. Sorted out some issues with the code being out of date. Now, see, this is it. This maybe is where spending that bit more means that we jump the queue a bit. Maybe 0.2 is not a good enough bid. 5 minutes of computation. I tell you what, we could bump this up to 0.5 and we could generate another one, because I don't think there's any reason. What would happen if we run 2? Is the delay due to the bid? I don't actually know. It's pure speculation on my part. Now we've got 2 jobs. We can see if one jumps ahead of the other, then we can say it might be the bid, but it's not really a big enough sample size to say for sure. But they're both waiting. Finished. So yes, the bid was not high enough the first time round. So let me just tasks show the one that's still going. Just going to try and kill that one off. Then we don't waste any cash on it. So if we look in, looking out. Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting that to have actually worked. What happened? So this reckoned it finished. Reckons it only took 30 seconds. I guess we could just check that this, just run through this again. So difficulty 7, which apparently I'm not using. Guess that should be, that's the variable that we should be using down here that would have prevented that silliness earlier. Just compile that again. Standard string cannot be indexed by standard ops range I32. All right, can it be indexed by usize? Yes, it can. All right. So we've got difficulty usize. We generate 10 random numbers, letters, something. Turn that into a string, which is where we start out. Then we generate then we generate input hash equals hash. We set our first attempt to my name 0.Craig, and this file has a hash of, the idea being that this would be a recursive hash. Ideally, the hash of the string is contained in the string, which is really difficult to do. Then we chuck our attempt on the end of here. We run our MD5 computation, sending that to hash. Gives us a string. And then if the first part of that string, basically if the input and the output of the first 5 characters are the same, which they probably won't be, then we open up out.txt, we write this to it. I want to run this again, but I'm going to just delete these 2 output files because there's a chance they go in the way. A remote chance, but a chance. And is there anything else daft? Subtask count 2, of course. Let's set that back to 1. Let's recompile this. That was very quick. Did I not change? That was very quick. I don't believe that recompiled in that time. That was so fast. I guess we can double check by removing one of the things that it was saying we don't need. So it's saying unused. Let's run that. Okay, so that is compiling now. Right, let's try and run that again. Last time it took 30 seconds and cost half a GNT. Let's see what it costs this time. Well, I guess it'll cost the same. Wonder how long it will take this time. So that allegedly finished. Oh, I know what the problem is. This is really daft. I know what the problem is. This here, prime.js and prime.wasm, needs copying to here. I wonder if there's a better way of doing this. We symlink them or something. So I need to copy these, put them into the in directory. Then And we know that this works for half a GNT, right? So let's see if it works at 0.3 GNTs. I didn't need to compile that. I don't want to be on that screen at all. I want to be on this one. So when we spend half a golem, we get 30 to 40 seconds. Actually, it's going to be slightly different this time because we've put the correct WASM file in place. We're not sure how long this is going to take. Oh, it says finished. Okay. All right. How can we do this? Do we have MD5 installed? Cannot find. Okay, apt-get install MD5 sudo. Fine. How can I run MD5 on MD5 Ubuntu? MD5 sum. MD5 sum help. You're missing minus T, that's what we want. So that's not helpful either. Minus read MD5 sums from the files and check them. Read in text mode minus, yeah, what's wrong with that? Why would that not just work? No such file or directory. I think it should be that. Unless minus T is a lie. I can't MD5 it. That's crazy. MD5 so MD5 some text. Text utility Ubuntu. Ah, all right, I can do that. So we echo this into MD5 sum. Great. Not so great. This is completely different to this. Let's just check that. Reopen, close tabs. Then. Okay, that works. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and the sixth one doesn't match. So we could up the difficulty on this. We could up the difficulty to 7. See if we still get that back in a reasonable time frame. Let's compile that. I really want to symlink those, really do. Might just do that. If I go to in, then I'm not gonna lie, I cannot remember how to symlink off the top of my head. Path to file, path to symlink. To create a new symlink. Okay, so yeah, ln minus s. No, hang on. Let's rm these first of all. Yep. Then we do ln -s prime.js. Shouldn't really call them that. They should be something a bit more sensible. They have nothing to do with primes. Then we were in targets. Debug. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Not that it worked anyway. Target debug. Build, was it? Target, no, it's not. Target WASM emscription, blah, 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 whatever, debug prime.js. Yeah, just that. Failed to create symbolic link. Yeah, because you did them the wrong way around. Great. Now we want prime.wasm. Great. Then each time we compile, that should update. Be good to go. This is pretty cool. I quite like this. A couple of button pushes and tiny expenditure, and the computation is done on someone else's machine. I guess the next part of this will be get this crunching something really quite challenging. And I feel like if the task doesn't complete, so I could have this try and compute something really complicated, and then if the task doesn't complete, it looks like I get a refund, which feels like an abuse of the network. Very much so, actually. Preparing for computation. I could zoom. I bet the font on this is horrendously small. I wonder if there's a way for me to change that. Just for anyone on stream, I'm guessing you probably can't read this text, right? It's not an invitation to bump into your TVs trying to read it either. Hang on a sec. So maybe that amount is a cap. In which case, with all of this faffing around that we've been doing, because we started out with 99 this coin. Oh, apparently someone paid us for a job at one point as well. Oh, there, attempted one and success one. Hilarious. But that one job almost paid for the next two combined. Yeah, but I feel like I don't think we lost, what, 1.15. If I total these up, I don't think it comes to 1.15. Not really sure about this transaction history. Preparing for computation still. Not started. There's a couple of things I changed that could have broken it. The first thing's the symlinks. Maybe it couldn't follow them. In which case, I guess I'm going to have to write a small script to copy those files each time. Not impossible. Well, I might have broken it. Duration 4 minutes, preparing for computation. Still not started. What if, yeah, because it's preparing, it's not waiting. One of the things that's not clear to me is the subtasks. It feels like it runs all the subtasks on the same computer, but I'd be interested to know if actually subtasks are run on separate machines. Golem excels at speed due to subtasks. Subtasks allow you to split a task up into smaller pieces that each can be assigned to another node on the network. Huh. The community keeps on building great tools. Did not realize that. So actually that could be pretty easy then to generate. Yeah, okay, pretty easy to generate a job split. Thought it was going to be more effort than that. I think I've definitely broken this. It's been going for 5 minutes. Let's run a note. Tasks. Get rid of this. So let's get rid of both of those prime files. And now we'll just copy them. Let's copy here. Let's rerun that again. Cool. For anyone just joining the stream, we are writing Rust, compiling it to WebAssembly, and then putting it up on a crypto-powered compute network called Golem, and getting our answers back. Pretty cool. First time I tried to do this, or rather, it's the first time I managed to get this working. This degree. I mean, the other possibility, right, is someone's outbid us. It could be that there's some other more expensive jobs running on the network. Maybe it's at capacity. I wonder if you can search that. I wonder if there's a page that would tell us. Golem grid status. Golem. If I do Golem status, that's going to give us like everything except Golem. Could be on here somewhere. I just want to know what jobs are running. Network status. All right, I'm sure there is one. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. Waiting for computation. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do tasks show. Let's quickly kill one of those. Edit, mark. Squash the last one. Cool. And earlier, did we get to waiting? Oh, we got to not started. Okay, so this is good. So now that means the copying of those two files fixed the bug. So now we just need to wait for someone to pick up the job. And I suspect we're on the cusp of it being worth it for them. If we're only paying, I mean, that's going to be like a fraction of a penny. Job to complete. Pretty cool though. I reckon if I left this machine on overnight and just let jobs come in, I reckon it would probably bring in slightly more than we spend on, let's say, this stream. Still waiting. There's got to be something neat that we can look at. Golem, or rather, Golem. Maybe we could find it via Reddit. How many nodes are there currently? Stats.golem. Cool. Well, now we got this working, I should probably just do a quick tweet about it. That's the thing. That's the thing to do, isn't it? Picked it up. It's still going. Wow. Maybe we need to up our bid. What do you reckon? I think that'll do. Timed out. Why did we time out? Did we time out because it went to someone and it was too difficult? Took more than a few minutes? Like a little bit more debug. Expect we're not going to get it. Timeout. This ETA is nonsense. I don't even know why it bothers displaying one for all these different statuses. So we said 5 minutes for a job that we made. I guess actually we made it quite difficult, didn't we? Did we just make it 200 times harder by adding 2? We might have made it 256 times more difficult by adding that 1 extra difficulty. My bad. What about... I'm trying to think how we solve this. So... because I still want to get... I want the higher difficulty, but I guess we want to split this now into multiple jobs. But we don't want an individual job to be too difficult. So we almost need to keep track of time, or only try like 1 billion combinations and then give up. Let me ponder on that. I'm going to ponder on that. In the meantime, I'm just going to drop the difficulty down to 6 to see what we get back. See what we get. Ah, chat's crashed on me. Sorry. Just fixing that. There we go. I can see chat again now. Happy days. For anyone just joining, we are writing Rust, compiling it to WebAssembly, and then setting ourselves challenges for jobs that then get sent up to a cryptocurrency network. It's lots of buzzwords to find today. Far too many. What do you reckon? What do you mean up it? Up what? You reckon up the cost? Is that what you reckon? A bigger bid or a bigger timeout? Sorry, I missed your message, but yeah, I don't know what you want to increase. Is it the timeout or is it the cost? Curious as well. It stopped moving the percentage completion thing across. Shame. The cost for these 0.05. Pretty good. Still going. Just got to find the right kind of jobs to run on this. And then I guess a cost comparison with Amazon and Azure and Google Cloud and whatnot. Feel a blog post coming on. starting to get hungry. Might have to hit pause on this. Back to this. Honestly has been quite successful, considering the day started out with like 2.5 hours of staring at some random error, and then prior to that, was set up with ports and loads of stuff to sort out to get this running. By the way, I think I made it 16 times more difficult. So if it was searching for a length of 6 now as opposed to 5, I think that's a 16-fold increase in difficulty. So I guess there's a 50-50 chance, or 30-60, or some kind of chance that this would ultimately fail altogether. Just because there's not quite enough time, 6-minute timeout or 5-minute for the subtask. Still nothing. Unless it comes back in the next 40 seconds. I guess we could put the same job out again, and then it just doubles the chances that the answer's found. The second job would pay and the first one wouldn't, I guess. That's a good point. We can double check that if we go to the transaction. So nothing's been paid out since 1756. Which was the last successful job. Yes, if the job fails, you don't pay for it. That feels really harsh for the person on the receiving end. In fact, yeah, that is really harsh. Particularly for, I guess, maybe it's just for this use case of the network. If you've got a chance-based outcome like this, where sometimes it gets the right calculation and sometimes it doesn't. Seems harsh. What status have we got now? It says 50% and waiting, but just put another one out there. In fact, that's the thing, right? We've got the coin. Let's just create loads of jobs. One of them will come back, right? I guess we just made it 5 times more likely that this is going to work. What do you reckon we should use this for? Feels like a new power we have. Ability to cheaply run computation on other people's machines. Check out the status. Waiting. It would be nice if I could see, if I could kind of like visualize my jobs on the network. I wonder if that's possible. Requested task, computed task, last seen. I guess we don't know if they're currently crunching a task, which is kind of for privacy. You don't really want that. requested task. Search. Okay, I can do that without giving you my IP address. That's good. Can anyone remember what on earth I called it? I absolutely can't. We're on mainnet, right? So that'll probably get rid of half of these, most of these. Or not. All right, we're here somewhere in this list. Imputed. I guess actually there's not going to be many that have requested, so that's not us. That's not us. That's not us. There's an anonymous one there, but that's testnet. No, neither of those are us. That's not us. Hey, we're not in the list. Right. Waiting. All waiting. It could be... I guess it's possible, right? If the thing keeps timing out, then maybe people will ban our node. I certainly would. We're all coming up on 4 minutes. That's a shame. We broke something. We were doing so well. I can't believe that I guess it's possible just through sheer luck that it's... I'll recompile it. Fine. Oh, you know what I did? I've just made an error, right? I completely failed. Oh no, I did. I copied them. Okay, so that's fine. So now if I recompile, bet I didn't recompile. No, I didn't. So those jobs have all gone out as difficulty level 7. That's why they're not coming back. Let's copy that again. Then if I send out an easier one, send out a couple of easy ones, that will get paid, and I'll apologize to the network for killing resource. Can't even resize this screen, can you? No. Up and down, that's it. That's all you're allowed. Jeez. Compatibility. Can I run this like... What if I want to make this... Oh, I don't know. Wondered if we could zoom in on it. Seems not. Seems not. Those are slowly timing out. Yeah, they've all timed out now. Shame. We get ticking down. So I click on this. Locked is 1.35. Actually, that would take us up to like nearly 99 again. How long does that stay locked? Reserved amount that will be used to pay for tasks that have been commissioned. So maybe that hasn't been going down for a while. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's just see what it comes back with. For anyone just joining the stream, we are compiling Rust into WebAssembly and then running it on other people's machines in a crypto grid network thing. I wonder what the official name for it is. If I go to golem.network, what do they actually call it? I should know this. Call it the Golem network. Decentralized supercomputer. All right. Go with that. Sounds cool. Let's check on those jobs. That's not what I wanted to do. I was throwing money at the network now. Oh yeah, and the locked amount went up slightly. So I'm just thinking about this loop here. I'm just trying to think how we can have a loop that only runs for a certain amount of time, or more importantly, a certain number of attempts. There's definitely something that we can do there. Rust loop seconds. You can put the thread to sleep. That could be useful in a different project, actually. That open. Yeah, I feel like I want this to run like 1 billion times or something. So I guess this would become a 4. For n in zero to billion. Even if you did 1 million. That's a good point actually. We should try and figure out what a sensible number is. I guess it's going to be something like 16 to the power of 6 or 16 to the power of 5. Hey Google, what's yeah, then we don't set this. So with a bit of luck, this would run 1 million times. And actually, I think we would want done because no, I think that's fine. And then essentially you don't have an out.txt unless you have an answer. I think is fine. It is a bit frustrating if we need to have if we have to have these folders in place for out.txt. Did one of our jobs finish? So I've just spotted there's now an out.txt. I know that's the same one. Delete that. Okay, so this is curiously just not working now, as you can see from all these timeouts. Okay, I think we can pick this up a little bit later. We'll come back to this. I think with this running a million times, only writes out.txt if we find an answer. I think that's fine. And that's going to time out. So this is curious. We've still got 1.2 locked. So I wonder why. Why that's locked. Bit of Ethereum locked as well. Curious. Okay, I am going to stop there. I'll come back to this a bit later. A break, get some food, or maybe it'll be tomorrow. Who knows? But I'm going to come back to this because I think we've made some solid progress, and we need to figure out how to get this working across different subtasks in a way that returns a quick result, at least one good result, and everybody gets paid. Because it seems really harsh to have these timeout things that cause people not to get paid, if I'm understanding that correctly, which I might not. Anyway, cool. Thanks for watching, and yeah, have a good one. Cheers.